Hello, my name is Shannon McGuire. I'm a physiotherapist at St. Joseph's Healthcare London. Today, I want to talk to you about some ways to help you recover from a brain injury or concussion. Specifically, I want to share some strategies on how to manage and reduce noise and light sensitivity. Think of the last time you shopped at a big box store. You were inundated with noise coming from overhead music, busy customers, crashing shopping carts, PA announcements, and beeping checkouts. All of this noise takes energy for your injured brain to process. We also live in a world full of light. For example, you have light coming in from your electronic devices, your computer screen, tablet, smartphone, and big screen TV. Fluorescent lights are also everywhere, and those are very challenging for patients to deal with. All of these types of lighting and all of the hours you spend with them zap energy from your brain and can provoke symptoms. After a brain injury, your brain finds it difficult to process everything you're hearing and seeing. Now that your brain is working extra hard to filter noise and light, that can drain your brain in busy environments. Your brain can shut down when you're in noisy, bright places for too long. Even your cognition can be affected. Your concentration level is impacted, and your ability to participate in conversation is more difficult. This can lead to anxiety, feeling overwhelmed in social situations, and that may lead you to isolate and pull back from these situations. So, you may be wondering, what can I do? I can't live in a cave in complete solitude. You're right. Living in a dark and quiet cave is not the best option. In fact, that can make you worse. But following a twofold approach will get you started. Number 1, use strategies and tools to help your brain tolerate busy environments. I'll mention a few options a little later in this video. Number 2, introduce your brain to more noise and light gradually and consistently. When you build tolerance, your sensitivity will decrease.
Avoiding too much noise and light. When I went to the grocery store, I always had my noise-canceling headphones on, and I always kept a cart. So even if I went in for a few items, I kept a cart so I had something to hold on to maintain balance.
Improvement and change in these symptoms can happen, but it takes time and persistence. If noise sensitivity is a major issue, an assessment from an audiologist with experience in brain injury can be beneficial. As well, if light sensitivity is a concern, an eye exam from an optometrist with experience in brain injury can be helpful. Let's start by looking at some ways to deal with noise sensitivity. After your brain injury, noises coming from a lawnmower or a kitchen blender can be extremely unpleasant. Sounds you once never paid attention to are now incredibly noticeable. With your injury, these noises take more energy for your brain to process and can then trigger your symptoms like headache, fatigue, balance, and cognitive performance. Listen in to a conversation I'll be having with Bobby to talk about some options to limit noise sensitivity. Hey Bobby, I wanted to chat to you today about some strategies to help you with noise. So can you talk to me about how if noise is a problem for you?
Yeah, it is. I tend to find that I get a lot of headaches, and I tend to avoid group scenarios or group settings where there's excessive amounts of noise, not getting out as much.
So that's a pretty common thing that we see in many of our patients. That noise sensitivity really makes them avoid situations and stay home, which can make them really socially isolated, and we don't want that. So we need to give you some strategies that make it more comfortable for you to get out, and so you can stay out for longer and not be so symptomatic. So a couple options are things like a musician's ear filter, which is better than an ear plug because it still lets in some noise where you can hear my voice, but dampens down the background noise. So we like that better. But for you, because you have so much noise sensitivity, I recommend a noise canceling headphone. And the advantage of these is that they have a microphone in them, and so they can hear the noise in the background, and then they make sounds to cancel it out and mask it. So I'm gonna have you put on these over-ear headphones, and then I'll turn on the noise canceling and you can see the difference. So now you notice probably it's a bit muffled. You can hear me, but it's a little bit muffled. Yep. So if I turn the noise canceling on, I do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's much quieter, much calmer, and you can see that would be much more comfortable for you to be out and about with that. But you can still hear my voice, so it doesn't dampen everything. Yeah. Okay, so I'll take those. Now, the problem with the over-ear ones is that you don't want to walk around in social situations with an over-ear big one like this. So really what we normally recommend is something like an earbud, where it still has the noise canceling option, but it's much more discreet, so you can wear it in almost any situation and help you get out of the house a little bit better. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video next that gives you a good example of what it's like when you're wearing noise canceling headphones and what that sounds like in a busy, noisy environment. Okay?
So you went home as well? Did you see the calls on the Yeah. We had a great tour.
Because the things
3 hours.
but not necessarily.
Ottoman Empire has this Ottoman Empire which architecture is so sort of Byzantine, and whereas Rome is so classic, all the marble, and yeah, it's really remarkable. Even the difference between the squares, the piazzas, was really.
Wearing devices to limit noise can have a downside. You'll want to rely on them more than you need to. I've seen people go from being very tense to relax and feel more comfortable in their bodies as soon as they put on the headphones or ear filters. It can be an instant relief for them. But it's really easy to get hooked on the silence and to tune out noises because it's more comfortable. Your symptoms aren't triggered as much. But it's really important to limit your use of noise-canceling headphones or musicians' ear filters to when you're going to noisy, busy environments, such as a sporting event, a restaurant, or a concert. Don't wear them at home. Unless, of course, you're hosting a dinner party with friends. That will help you manage the conversation. Remember, these devices are a coping strategy, allowing you to get out of your home and engage in meaningful activities. They're part of your overall recovery. The goal is to wean you off the frequency of use of these devices. Let's address some ways to help with light sensitivity. What can you do at home? You can change your light bulbs to soft white LED lights and add dimmer switches to dampen down the brightness. You can use lamps to light a space instead of ceiling lights. If you're at work, ask for a tube from the overhead fluorescent lights to be removed. Outdoors, you can wear a hat with a brim and a pair of tinted sunglasses to minimize the effect of daylight. As with noise, light can be taxing on your brain after an injury. You may experience headaches and fatigue when you're in bright settings outside at a park or inside a big box store. Okay, Bobby, one of the things I want to show you is some strategies to help you manage your light sensitivity around screens and reading with that piece and outdoors. So the first thing I'm going to try is some colored overlays. So I'm going to give you just a piece of paper with some words on it there. And these are just transparent dividers from Staples. If we put them over, I'm looking to see, does that make it easier or more comfortable for you to read? And
yeah, it's a little more comfortable.
So different people respond to different colors. So we'll go run through and see if there's a color that you find is better for you. There's the green. And then the blue. People often like the blue.
Yeah, I really like the blue.
Yeah. So it often makes it more comfortable for people to read. And what I would say, if you find that you like the blue, I usually tell people, if you're going to have sunglasses, try to find sunglasses with a blue-gray tint. For my people that like the orange or the yellow, more like an amber, orange, or yellowy tint of sunglasses. It's okay to wear sunglasses, certainly outdoors all the time. If you feel like you really need to wear sunglasses indoors for fluorescent lights, try to have a sunglass that's a lighter tint. If you can have like an indoor lighter tint sunglasses and not just always really dark tints, right? Because you want to not have to be dependent all the time and try to wean them down. So the other thing that sometimes can make it a bit easier for reading is using a blinder. So we will take just a blank piece of paper like this, and so then that way when you're going through, your brain is not taking in the whole page. You're just having to go, and it'll make it easier for you to track your eyes that way. So if you're reading, you may find that that can be helpful. And then if you combine the two, the color overlay with the blinder, then hopefully that makes it easier for your brain to take in and remember some of that information.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Great.
Takes away all the distraction on the page.
Exactly, yeah. And so then that way your brain can just focus on what you're really trying to read. Great, so I'm glad that works. Now, when it comes to computer screens, this is often a problem for people, and I know it's a problem for you. So there's a few different adjustments that you can make. I saw you blink as soon as I made it brighter. There's a free program called f.lux, so f.lux, that you can download, and it can help you adjust the brightness. So I'll just show you an example. It can make it a bit more blue, which some people like, but most of our patients don't. I think you like it a bit more blue. Mm-hmm. Or you can make it so it dampens it down and adds a bit more warmth or a bit more yellow. And some of our patients like that as well, where they take away that blue light. It has a few other adjustments of what you can do in terms of lighting. Like here's an example of what we could do is we can make it grayscale. So it takes away the color, so potentially that makes it a little bit more easier and less stimulating for your brain.
Okay.
So if you like that might be, particularly if you have to read stuff and remember, that might make it easier for you to do.
Yeah, it's very gentle on the eyes.
Yeah, not so good if you're looking at videos, but really good if you have to read some text. Okay, I'll show you a few things on the phone, and some of those things that you can adjust those on the computer as well. So one of the first things is what's called the night shift mode, which you can find under your settings, under display and accommodations. So if we go down to the display and brightness, first of all, same idea, you can make your screen really bright or you can make it super dim. You want to find somewhere where you can still read it. you can change your text size, but the night shift is a really good strategy that we use. And what I normally do is you can decide what's more comfortable when I make it warm, which most of my patients like, versus the less warm, the icy blue, many of our patients don't enjoy. So I can pick where is a good position for you. And then I always say schedule it so it's on all the time, because otherwise it only comes on in the evening. So I've scheduled mine from 10 p.m. to 9:59 p.m. So there'll only be 1 minute in the 24-hour period that it's not in this sort of warmer mode for you. So that should make it a little bit more comfortable, hopefully. So if we go back to settings, we can go under, if you always go to accessibility, that will help you find some of what you can try to do to make it easier to read. So one thing can be larger text. So if we make the text a bit larger, sometimes that makes it easier for patients to read on their phone compared to when it's a smaller text like that, right? So that's one thing. You can pick what's comfortable for you. We can also do some display accommodations here. So this is the one that some of our patients like, where we invert the colors. So it's more like that. So if you find that that's a bit softer with the dark screen with a light colored printing, the white text, that's often more comfortable.
Yeah, I really like that.
You like that one? Yeah. So, and that will go for everything. And if you do the smart invert, it does it all except for photos, right? So all your texts and things like that, your emails, those types of things will show that inverted one. So again, that's a way you can potentially work on being a bit more tolerant for screens, which you're going to need to do for work. Okay? Do you have any questions?
No, that's very good.
Great.
All things that I didn't know my phone could do.
That's right.
I had it all along.
Yeah, and we're probably only scratching the surface. There's probably even more that we don't know. Great. Let's move to the second part of the twofold approach for noise and light sensitivity. That is building tolerance to noise and light. The way to do this is with gradual, consistent exposure to noise and light stimulus. As you gradually introduce more light and more noise into your day, your brain will adapt to the challenge and change of the sensory exposure. It's like recovering from a broken bone or pulled muscle. As you slowly increase your activity, your bone or muscle will adapt to movement, and you'll eventually get to a better place. One thing to remember, things may get worse before you feel better. That's because your brain is working really hard to adapt to the increased stress of the light and noise. A great place to begin building tolerance is at home. It's what you're most familiar with, and it's where you have more control over noise and light. Avoid the temptation to close the curtains, turn off the light, and wear headphones. As you've heard already, living in isolation never helps train your brain. Turn the lights on. Start with using low wattage light bulbs, or use a dimmer switch to control light. Eventually, you will add and expose yourself to more intense lighting. Take off your sunglasses inside your home. Open the curtains. Sit outside in natural light. Listen to the sounds of your neighborhood. As you do, increase the amount of time you're exposed to light. All of these small things will build greater tolerance. Continue to get out of the house. Go to places where you can experience different types of light. This can provoke your symptoms, but it trains your brain to adapt to various kinds of light.
I picked up yellow safety lenses, or safety glasses with yellow lenses, and it made such a difference. Just cutting out just that little bit of brightness to help manage headaches and stuff. That was a big changer with light sensitivity, was those yellow lenses, especially with driving at night, like headlights. Very bothersome, but you can't avoid them. Other people are out there driving around in the cars, so at first I was just avoiding driving at night, but once I got the yellow lenses, it made a big difference, so I didn't feel so trapped at home.
Just as you would to build light tolerance, you will build noise tolerance. Thanks to a number of apps for your smartphone or tablet, you can do noise-tolerating exercises at home. Start at a low volume and listen to noises you're comfortable with and can tolerate for 5 to 10 minutes, such as waves along a beach. Or nature sounds. Build stamina for these types of noises by listening to them for longer periods of time. Eventually, you will increase the volume of the sounds to adapt to the noise. As you improve, challenge yourself with more common and everyday life sounds, such as traffic on a city street, or a crowded room. This technique is hard work, and it can be uncomfortable to do, and it takes time to show results. But by consistently and regularly training your brain, you will increase your ability to participate in activities outside your home for longer periods of time and with fewer symptoms.
I had to plan how long I would be at my daughter's basketball game and how I would do it. So what I did is I used noise-canceling headphones when I got to that point. And instead of going and sitting with the other parents who were on the team, who would be talking about the game and put a little more brain energy on me, I would sit in a far corner and I'd be away from everyone else, and I would have my noise-canceling headphones on, and I would watch half the game, and then I would go. And I gradually built that up and was able to do more and more over time.
This brings us to the close of this video. Noise and light sensitivity can be a disabling symptom following brain injury because we live in a light-filled and noise-filled world. But there are things that you can do to deal with the stimuli. I hope you've learned of some ways and strategies to cope and tolerate noise and light. It's important to challenge yourself to be in noisy, bright environments and to participate in things at home and in your community. With deliberate, intentional, and gradual work, you will build tolerance and coping skills to get you back to meaningful social activities and help you feel less isolated and alone. On the webpage where you found this video, we've posted a document with recommended resources and strategies, including some suggested apps to use to help you build noise tolerance. If you haven't already watched the planning and pacing video, I encourage you to do so. What is shared in that video ties into what I've talked about today.